Hello, everyone. Evolutionary TV here. I'm your host, Terry Vettrus-Nichols, along with the lovely
Linda Vettrus-Nichols.
That is Nichols, not Lickles.
It's a combo name.
It's a thing. So we've been talking a lot about tips and mental behavior. I hope you brought some home. I hope perhaps one resonates with you. We enjoy doing these because they come from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And when anything coming from the heart is going to be pure, okay? It's when it gets up into the ego and all the rest of it, it kind of gets watered down or even changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tonight, we're talking about the human journey. The human journey. There are 3 stages of the female psyche. Linda's written about that. She's going to quote a little bit out of her book about it, the 3 stages. And won't you just do a little intro about your 3 stages, dear, and
Okay.
We'll get rocking here.
Yeah, I spelled it out in my book, Sex and Money Power, the Second Chakra. So stage 1, you can think about that as like a melodrama taking place on that stage, because that's the stage where you tend to do what pleases others rather than tapping in and knowing yourself. And that tends to be the stage where you encounter a predator. And then stage 2 is like a dance, is more like a variety show or a musical. And at this point, you want to be loved for who you are, but you're not completely sure who you are. And then on 3, that dance is more like a ballet, and things in your life are flowing. It's very intentional movement there. And you believe that plans rather than dreams come true, and you understand how to turn a plan into reality. So it's the ballet part of it. It's a psychic dance. It's about taking responsibility for oneself. And so what I talk about is we actually come in on stage 3. We know exactly who we are. We're this amazing soul, and we have embodied. And then there's stages between the stages. So between coming in on stage 3 and the predator, there's the filters. Like parents put a lot of filters on us, like, oh, I'm afraid of spiders. So as a kid, you pick up that, yeah, mom's afraid of spiders or dad's afraid of whatever it is. And they put a lot of filters in our path, and a lot of times we accept those filters. And then it's always about like, be nice, be the nice girl. And we're so nice that now we're totally vulnerable to the predator, and we've lost kind of like our wildness, if you will. And then the stage between the predator and stage 2, which is stage of the other, where it's like we're blaming other people and not owning our stuff, we become the predator. So I'm sure you've heard plenty of stories in mental health where someone was predatored and then they became the predator. You have a great story on that, Terry, of, especially some of our female clients who have had any kind of sexual abuse, right? They start dumping guys and like goofing things up in their life.
Or they're so afraid of being victimized again.
Mm-hmm.
Their psyche switches and they become the predator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they'll start dating somebody like the client that we're talking about, and they'll self-sabotage it and get the person to run away. However that works, and it works every time for a predator because they're always at you. Everything is not completely right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's some good times, but it's mostly bad. They're after you all the time. And that's a complete switch from this wonderful person post CR process, and being able to have a person in her life full time for years now.
Mm-hmm.
For about 4 years, I think they've been together.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonderful story, and her family's tighter, so
yeah,
things change quickly.
Mm-hmm. So on stage 2, it's about like, oh, something silver, oh, I think I'll go do this, and I think I'll go do that, and not really knowing who you are. And then when you start owning your stuff, it can turn on you big time, where you're owning it to the point of a fault, really. And so that's the stage of addiction. That's the stage of suicide ideation. Many suicides happen, and it's called the dark night of the soul. So between stage 2 and stage 3 is dark night of the soul. And then you finally get back to stage 3. And I kind of see stage 3 as like a stage this way, and it's all black, dark up here, and there's a piece of paper right down the center with some holes in it. And there's a big flashlight from like the light from where we came. I know, and Under the Tuscan Sun, it's a favorite scene of mine where the star's friend has a baby, and she takes the baby and she holds the baby up to the light to remind the baby where she came from, right? So that's like a big old flashlight shining onto this piece of paper that has holes in it. So when you make that journey right down below and you step back up onto stage 3, it's kind of like a stick figure over there. And what happens if it's all dark and there's a big flashlight and there's a piece of paper with holes? All these little streams of light are coming over here where the stick figure you is. And it's like a spotlight of everybody saying to you, oh, you know, Terry, what is it that you remember, right? And that is what we can actually monetize. That, you know, we're back to who we really are, and what we do remember of truth, we can monetize. And the best part about that is it is truth. So everyone can resonate it because they're all just awakening to that truth. Does that make sense?
Right. Now, monetize is a buzzword in business, small business owners, those kinds of things. But you can be an employee and monetize yourself, become a more productive family member, employee at work, get more promotions and those kinds of things. So monetize can mean more than one thing. Okay, it is a buzzword in the coaching industry, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative word for someone who's not in that type of work.
Your life just works a whole lot better.
Yeah.
And you're in your authenticity. And if you look at David Hawkins' work, and he's calibrated in hertz the vibration of different words like love, joy, peace, enlightenment. Authenticity is actually the highest vibration, higher than even enlightenment. So that's a little bit for tonight. Have a great the rest of your evening. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.